Hello and welcome to another Hubbard's Handmade video. Thank you very much for tuning in. Today I'm working on a project, a sofa table made out of 2x4s, and I've just selected these 2x4s mostly to be clear, that is to be free of most knots and imperfections. However, some of the boards do have knots and things like that I thought might add interest. So at this point I'm just cutting off the rounded edges on all the boards, and then next I will use the thickness planer to get them down to size. And here we are at the thickness planer. Right now I am in the middle of another project to get everything a home in my shop. So as you can see, I'm using the thickness planer on the floor. In my next video it won't be there anymore. But since this isn't generally very exciting, I sped it up to a super speed, and I mostly just like watching these things take shape, so if you don't like the high speed of everything, I apologize, but I like to see the project just come together. Now I'm laying out all these boards to the orientation that I like, checking the grain pattern and just the side that I like, and I'm taking a pencil and just marking when I have them the way I like it, so I know that this is the bottom, and marking a V for the front. And I'm just gonna start putting glue on all of these to do the glue up. Because some of the boards still have a little bit of bow to them, I'm using boards on either side to try to get them to line up as best as possible. At this point, I do not have a jointer in my shop at all. But once I got everything clamped together, the board did come out pretty nice. This is the table top, and then I'm also going to glue up a shelf for the bottom of the table. So these are the boards for the shelf. I'm using the same technique of a couple of boards on the ends and in the middle to get everything lined up before I clamp them side to side, so that it just makes everything go together really nice, and then I have less cleanup at the end. And after that quick outfit change, here I am taking all the clamps off. That is, the glue has dried. And this is the shelf on the bottom, and it looks great. I'm very happy with the way it came out. I just need to trim the ends to length, and that will also help to square everything up. So now I'm using my table saw to trim the board to its correct length, as well as make the edges really nice and put together. And I'm trimming some more 2x4s, and these are going to be the apron for the table, as well as the legs. So I'm getting all of that done at once, and I did manage to find my feather board, which has made that process a lot easier. Now I'm just doing a little bit of sanding on all of the surfaces and edges and making all of those seams come together flawlessly. And I used my router table to round over all of the edges and make it smooth. This probably was not the best way to do this. I have since gotten a cheap little handheld router with the round over bit to make it so I didn't have to move the board across the table. And I just show the process of a few pocket holes. This is the shelf, and it's going to be secured with pocket holes at the bottom of the table. There's my screws. So here I'm putting the legs together, and I'm using one of the boards as a spacer, one down at the bottom here, and that will actually come out, as you'll see. So I'm putting them together with pocket hole screws, and there that spacer board comes out, and you can see what the leg's going to look like on either side of the table. Oops. And you might have noticed the mistake I made. I forgot to, or neglected to put glue on those joints, so I did have to take apart both of the legs, put the glue on, spread it, and put it back together again. And this actually worked out really well, again using the router and a round over bit to just round over all of these outward facing edges. It just helps it to come together really nicely in the end. And now I have all of my parts laid out, and I'm applying stain before I put it together. I just find it easier to get the stain on. It's just easier to move things around at this point. So I'm getting stain on all of these surfaces, and I do have one little problem, as you'll see coming up, with a little bit of a spill. Oop, there we go. Good thing I didn't waste a lot of it. I'm pulling it off of the table and using it right on the bottom of the tabletop surface. You might notice that I'm not wearing a mask for this. This stain is absolutely wonderful water-based stuff. It has no odor at all, so it wasn't a problem. And there's the permanent mess on my assembly table. So now I'm actually at the assembly part, getting the table base put together. And I used some clamps to hold some boards where the shelf needed to go, and I leveled it all out, put it together with some pocket hole screws. And then it was just a matter of spacing everything correctly to attach the table base to the tabletop. And at the final step here, I'm just applying some polyurethane finish to harden and protect the surface. At this first step, I tried to use a foam brush, and that was definitely a mistake. It was much easier with the second and third coat to use a real paintbrush with some good bristles to apply this, making sure to sand in between every coat. And here's the final product inside the house. It came out just great, and I actually made two of them and ended up keeping one and selling the other one, so that was a big bonus when I can get one of my projects sold. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. See you next time.